how to use a vacuum sealer to do meats and things like that, how you buy in bulk and how you can slice it and put it in a food saver and then put it in your freezer. And then I did a program on how to use the food saver to store like flour and different things like that. Today, I'm gonna show you how to do a different kind of preserving, and we're gonna do what's called dry canning. Now, in the economy that we're in right now, you know, I don't wanna cause panic, I don't wanna cause fear, none of that stuff, but I want to instill in you wisdom and preparedness for feeding yourself, your family, whoever it is. And, you know, I have done this for years. I grew up in a home where my mother grew a garden and canned all the time. We did green beans and tomatoes, and she would do pickles and just different things, and I was always in the kitchen helping her. And then, you know, with today's world, a lot of people are turning back to canning. They're turning back to the ways, but they don't know how to do it. This is a simple, easy way to preserve shelf-stable ingredients with minimal effort. And you will need a little bit of equipment. You will need jars that are clean. I ran these through my dishwasher. They're not hot. They're, you know, I just ran them through my dishwasher. You will need a machine like this. Now, this is just the Food Saver brand preserver. For the life of me, I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm talking about, the vacuum sealer. It came to me. This is a Food Saver brand. This is actually my favorite brand. I've tried a couple of the different brands, and they work, but they don't have the durability that the Food Saver has. Now, with this, to do this, you will need one of these that has this little, let me show you, right here, is called an accessory port. And this actually came with, it was a set. And you will need the things I'm gonna show you right here. You just plug that into that little port, and mine has a little lever that you lock. Now, it comes with two different rings. This is for wide mouth jars, and this is for regular jars. And let me show you the difference. This is a wide mouth, right here. I don't know which one I'm on. This is a wide mouth jar. You see how it's bigger in diameter from here to here? And this is a regular jar. I'm trying to get it where you can see inside there. This diameter is not as wide. Either one will work. I prefer wide mouth jars because they're easier to get the ingredients in. But listen, you get what you can find nowadays. So I have both. I have some of the regular size, which is the flaps are smaller. They look like this, as opposed to the wide mouth. You will need the flaps. With this process, you don't need the rings. Now, the rings come like this. These are the rings, but you don't need these for this. Just save those for another purpose. So let's get started. Let's just show you how we do this. Clean jars, very important. Now, here's where you think about what types of food that you like to eat. Do you like beans? I do. I love beans. I love all kinds of beans, and that's what we're going to talk about here. Rice, pasta, sugars, anything. Instant mashed potatoes, we're going to do that. Anything that is a shelf-stable product can be dry canned. Now, typically, when you go to the store to buy things, they will come in little bags like this, or if you go to a farmer's market or someplace that sells bulk products, you can, you know, buy them loose like this and put them in a Ziploc storage bag. And this is fine for a temporary save, if you will, a temporary preservation. But long term, this has air in it. And it's just not the ideal thing to preserve your food in because the air is the enemy of preservation. Now, I will say, it's been a few weeks ago, my store, I follow the sales. I'm a coupon fanatic, I'm a sale fanatic. I want to save all the money that I can on food. My store, one of the grocery stores that I shop at, had these I think these are 1 pound bags, yeah. 1 pound bag of dried beans, all the different varieties, on sale for 12 of them for $10. So this was 80 cents a bag. And I couldn't resist. I had to get 12 bags because I know they're gonna I'm gonna dry can them. I know I can keep them for years. This will keep for years as opposed to this. This is also subject to being, God forbid you get a little mouse or something in your house. It happens. They can chew right through this where they're not gonna chew through a jar. These are most definitely reusable. These have all probably had tomatoes in them, but they've had chicken or potatoes or tomatoes or something in there. You can reuse these. The only thing you cannot reuse in canning are these. The flaps are not reusable. The rings are, the flaps are not. Because it has this little seal, this little gasket, if you will, right here around the edge, that, when you put that on there, it adheres to the jar. Well, to break that seal, you've got to lift that up. These you cannot reuse. The rings you can, the jars, obviously, you can. You want to make sure you have good jars. You can find them a little easier now, but let's get started. So I've got my attachment on here with my wide mouth, so I'll do all the wide mouth first. I'll do this I want to talk about these little beans. We found this at a local farmer's market. Mike and I were there, and so we found these little beans. They're little red and white speckled beans. They look a lot like anasazi beans, but they're not. Azuki beans, but they're not. They are actually anasazi beans. So they're a slightly sweeter bean than like a pinto bean. Now, that doesn't mean that they're sweet, it's just they have a little sweeter taste. So what you wanna do, now I don't wash them, I don't anything to do this process. Now you will, of course, when you're gonna cook them. It's a little easier if you have a funnel. If you don't have a funnel, you can take a paper plate and kind of make a little cone out of it. But these are good, funnels are good to have no matter what. So we want to fill it up to the 1-inch headspace. Now, again, I haven't washed these. I haven't done anything to them. I haven't, as Mama would say, look them. I haven't looked them, which means you go through them and you look for little pebbles because believe me, I have found more than one stone in beans. So you do need to look your beans before you can them. And or before you cook them. I'm gonna add just a few more to that one. I'm gonna take my flap. Well, first of all, just like when you're canning regularly, you want to run your paper towel across the top of your jar because that could have dust and it won't seal. Put your lid on there, then take your little gasket, place right over it. Make sure my machine, now your instructions may vary a little bit with your machine, but my machine, you wanna have it locked. I've got it on dry because these are dry, and you wanna vacuum seal. So this is a little loud, but wait just a second. And what that is doing is it is sucking out the air out of the jar, and when the light goes out, it's gonna be sealed. Takes it just a few seconds, and you can see how when that power light goes off, then it is all sealed. So those are the little red light came on, the seal is off, so I'm good. So what I wanna do is release that, take this off, and I want you to look real closely. Are you looking here? Look at this. That's on there. I'm holding that with the seal. Perfect. That's what you want. The air is out of there, so these are going to be preserved for a long time. Next thing to do is label your jars and when you did them, like 5/22. You don't need to put the ring on. You don't need to do anything. Just put that in your dry storage place. Now, let's do these. These are yellow eye beans that I found at, I'm just gonna pour these in for time's sake. These are yellow eyes. They're delicious. And by the way, when these cook, they turn a pink color. And any that you have left over, like maybe you don't have enough to do a whole nother jar, I'll show you what you can do. These are yellow eye peas. Same thing. Wipe the top of your jar. Put your little thing on there. Put that down on it. Put it on dry and vacuum seal. And that's going to take all that air out. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna let that do its thing. These are butter beans. I love these. These, when you cook these up, they're creamy and delicious. So, so good. Love them. Okay, the seal button is off, so it's done. Well, you have to unlock it in order to release the vacuum there. Okay, are you watching? You see how I'm holding it with just the lid. It seals right on there. This is a good way, label it and date it. This is a great way to preserve your food long-term storage. So maybe you, like I did, I saw a sale. By all means, buy it if you can. Buy up a bag or two a week. And, you know, like beans and rice and things like that are staple ingredients. But that's not the only thing you can do with this. I'm just gonna let this finish sealing. Let's take a quick break. When I come back, I'm gonna show you how we can do rice and we can do pasta and we can do instant mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm just gonna let this, when that seal light goes off, I'll unlock it, and when I come back, we'll do some more food. I'll be back in just a minute. All righty, now we've done 3 types of beans. Now there are many, many more types of beans that, you know, I just brought what I needed to do at home I thought we could do together. We have, let's go over here just a second. We have some black beans, we have cranberry beans, black-eyed peas, kidney beans, great northern beans, mixed beans, which are great northerns and pintos, lima beans, split peas, which we will do. Now, if you have any leftover that maybe didn't fit in your jar, combine your beans together and make your own bean soup mix. Delicious, makes a great ham soup, so good. So you could do any of those, the same process. You can also do pasta of all kinds. Now, here I just have a box of elbow macaroni that I'm going to put in my jar. I mean, this is a staple ingredient for most people, is it not? So fill your jar up to the bottom of the rim, which is a 1-inch headspace. Wipe the top in case any dust got on there. Same process. Dry and vacuum seal. You can do elbow macaroni. I'll show you how we can do penne pasta. Think about what your family likes to eat or what you like to eat. And this just is a great way to make it shelf stable, which means it stays fresher longer. This is not going to stay, although this is good for, maybe a year or two, but if you want to do long-term food storage, you've got to get it out of the container and into another container of some sort. All right, let's label that one while we seal this one. This is elbow macaroni. Just take a Sharpie, elbow macaroni, and the date of when you did it, or the month. I just put the month and the year. And you've got yet another jar, and we'll do these in a minute here. Okay, my seal went off. It's perfectly sealed. I really do think you need to see that. You see how that's on there? That's not going anywhere. So this is penne. All right. Now I want to, let's see, let me do one more of the big jars before I switch out my, well, it doesn't matter. All right, we'll just do one of the regulars. So you need to take off the wide mouth and put this on. This machine, I'm telling you, for home preservation of food or anything, I mean, you can vacuum seal anything. This is just a worthwhile investment. You find them on sale all the time at different stores. Sam's Club, even Amazon oftentimes will do a sale on them. One of my favorite beans, or peas actually, is a split pea, a green split pea. You could do lentils too. My mama always made split pea soup at Christmas Eve. To this day, you have, in my world, you have to have split pea soup and ham on Christmas Eve. I mean, it's just a must-do. It's a tradition passed on. All right, wipe the top. These are delicious. And these do not require, by the way, if you've never cooked with green split peas, they do not require soaking, because they're not a bean. They're actually a pea, a dried pea, a legume. All right, dry, same process. I'll just do one jar and then I'll do the rest of them later. What I will do is combine all these and make my own bean mixture, just like this one. You see how that's just a bunch of different beans left over? Delicious, so good. Split peas are the same process. Pasta, you could even do spaghetti. You could, I won't do it today because I want to show you a couple more things, but what you would want to do is break it in half, put it down in the jar. Well, I guess I could show you one jar. I mean, might as well, right? Why not? Okay, that one I didn't do right. Did I not push the button? Oops, I thought when I hit that thing. Let's make sure that's in there. Lock it, dry, vacuum seal. Okay, for spaghetti, now you can buy noodles already broken. I know all the Italians out there are going, no, don't do that, but, I mean, obviously you have to if you're gonna do this. Break it in half, if you can, and then kind of tilt your jar on its side, and, oh, let's get the mess I'm making. Put it down in there. Why is did I not have that down on there? I must not have that on there right. Let's break that seal just a second. I must not have that in there right. Hang on just a minute here. Okay, just, you see what I'm doing? How I'm just shaking that to the side and putting that in there. Your dried pastas and things do not last forever. So it's important that you keep them, if you want them for long-term food storage, which is what this is about. It's important that you And 1 box of pasta will fit down in a jar, in a quart-sized jar. I'm making a mess, but that's okay. It'll clean up. All right, we'll get that in just a second. Now, something is not right with my jar. What's the deal here? If it doesn't seal, we might have to just switch straight to the, if you don't have that little thing in there right, let's try this once more. All righty. You want to make sure it seals. Okay. So we've got our dried spaghetti, same process. Put your lid on there. Let's see if that's going to work. You can also do rice. Great way to store your rice. Okay. I've used some of this, but I didn't need the whole bag. So, we will preserve it. Now, let's see if she worked. I don't think it did. I didn't like the sound of that. For some reason, my quart is not working. I don't know why. It worked great on the wide mouth. So, let's transfer. I don't understand that, but it's okay. We will just transfer it to 2 pint-sized jars, which is really more convenient anyway for me. Because I'm about the only one in my house that likes those. But that's all right. I love them. Okay. So let's do our noodles. Vacuum seal it. Finish our rice here. It is important that you label what kind of rice this is if you buy more than one type, because I buy jasmine and I buy basmati. This is just long grain. So you want to make sure that you label your jars accordingly. This is just long grain, so I'll go ahead and put that on there. Long grain white rice. Okay? It won't come off until you unlock it. And it just see, it worked fine on the, I don't know. Okay. You get the point of what I'm doing here. I just want to kind of show you some different food stuff that you can do this with. Let's get that one going. You could also do egg noodles. I'm going to do these in a jar. Now, brings up a good point. If you're just cooking for 1 or 2, you know, you might want to think about doing them in the pint-sized jars. Same process, just a different, different size jar. I do some in quarts and some in pints, same as I do with tomatoes. I can some tomatoes in quarts and some in pints because it just depends on the recipe. This is a great thing to have in your jars if you want to have for long-term food storage some instant potatoes. Great thing to have. Same process, just put them in your jar. Don't do anything to it other than wipe the top and seal it, and you're good to go. There's my rice. And let's do these. Redo. I don't know why my narrow is not working. I need to just investigate that, but it's okay. I have many more wide mouth jars than I do the other ones anyway, because that's what I prefer to work with, because it's easier to get the food stuff in and out. While that's doing it, let me tell you, you could also do your brown sugar. You could do coconut flakes. Just label it. Anything that you want to preserve long-term can be done in here. I would not do flour because it is so powdery. I would stick with putting the flour in the paper sack and doing it in the traditional vacuum seal bags. That's what I would do. But here you go. a great way to preserve your pantry staple items for years. As long as you stay sealed, you're good to go. Hope you enjoy this. We're going to do some more canning and food preserving in the future. Thank you for joining with me, and I will see you next time on Everyday Manna.
I'm Bob Smallwood for Sound Sharing Center in Bristol, and I've got good news for you. Don Cornwell is here with me. He's got something special.
I have great news, Bob. New breakthrough in technology. No more hearing aid batteries to buy ever. No more fumbling with batteries. Also, we offer the same hearing aids as our competitors at much lower prices. We offer the best technology, the best service at the best price.
And thousands of your neighbors have already saved money. Why don't you join us?
Shop and compare. Why pay more?
We are the all-new commercial sales department here at Ramey Ford Princeton. I'm Robert Alford.
And I'm Nathan Branch.
Whether you're a one-man operation or a Fortune 500 company, we've got you covered.
HVAC, plumbing, farming, service.